Now on CoastTV News.
Feeling the freeze, we look at the effects these winter-like temperatures will have for us today.
Cold temperatures greeting us this morning, falling as low as the upper 20s through the morning. It's going to be a chilly, sunny day. The latest on when a warm-up arrives.
Plus, startling speed stats.
There goes one right now.
What Millsboro police are considering for one road where drivers are known for going too fast.
And OC Council changes as a special election approaches. We are now learning that another member is stepping down, and we have the reason why.
This is CoastTV News Today.
It is Wednesday, April 8th, 2026. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us during this 5 o'clock hour.
Newsflash, Grace, the winter coat. It's back.
You know
at least
what?
For one day, maybe two.
Some people are thinking it's their winter coat, like, you know, the coat that you zip up. I'm thinking my winter coat of self-tan. The sun.
So you're
the sun is not going
I'm on
up. I
one
had
page
to.
talking coat. You're over here.
A coat of self-tan. I had to get a little something going on here. I feel pale. The sun has yet to come
I was
up.
about to say something the other day, but I felt better of it.
I know. I'm just looking forward to some sunny days ahead. I know you like to get your tan on in the summertime too, so you can't even say anything. Yeah, and your method is 15 SPF. And it gives you.
And I got time frames and all that. I mean, look, if you want, I will email these tips out to you, folks.
Yet I digress.
All right, let's bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono. The story this morning is the cold temperatures. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yeah, we warned you about it the past few days, and it's here. We're stepping outside the door to temperatures in the 30s at this hour, and you can see that freeze warning continues for pretty much all of Delmarva through about 9, with the exception of the immediate beaches, where we expect those temperatures to fall as low as 28, 29 degrees over the next few hours. Right now we're at 35 in Salisbury. The cool spot, we're at the freezing mark in Harrington. 32, 34 Milford, 38 in Lewis. Now the winds are still pretty gusty, especially at the beaches, gusting to 34 Indian River Inlet, and we're seeing wind chills out there, feeling like 28 in Lewis, 24 Harrington, and it feels like 28 in Georgetown. Now we have clear skies across the peninsula, high pressure just off to our north over upstate New York, and that's funneling in that colder, drier air over the next few days. Now temperatures are only going to get in the upper 40s today, despite wall-to-wall sunshine, and temperatures are going to be rising to around 43 by around 11 o'clock this morning, and then we'll top out right around the upper 40s. I think some areas along the midshore could graze the lower 50s this afternoon. We'll talk about a warm-up, though, in that 7-day forecast here in a little bit.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour is continuing what we just heard from Chris. A cold snap is moving in, bringing temperatures below freezing across Delmarva.
CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is live in Lewis. And Elisa, with plants already beginning to bloom, some people may be worried about the sudden drop causing damage.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yes, this morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, Chris was right. It is colder outside. I have my scarf, my gloves. And another concern that we have, it's not just about us, it's also about plants. As you can see right now, I am in Lewis by all of the tulips. As we've mentioned, the Tulip Festival is currently going on, so many people may be worried that the sudden dip in temperatures is going to cause damage to plants that have already bloomed. But according to experts, already established plants actually will not experience damage during this sudden dip in temperatures, especially this time of year. Still, gardeners say taking a few simple precautions can go a long way in protecting your plants, like putting some type of cloth or newspaper or even a pot over the plants to protect them. If you have a lawn and you're worried about that, you can run irrigation during times of frost. The freeze will actually protect the plant on the outside. And I spoke with Chris earlier, who said that this freeze warning is in effect until 9 o'clock this morning. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa in Lewis. And another Ocean City Council member is stepping down. Councilman Larry Yates said he would resign immediately due to health concerns. A special election will be held to fill his position. Yeah,
we're learning that special election will occur on May 8th. This is the rescheduling of a special election that was set for April 21st. May's election will fill the now 2 open seats on the council. You might remember another seat opened earlier this year. That was after Tony DeLuca stepped down for a residency issue. So far, 2 candidates have filed to run for DeLuca's seat, Peter Buas and Jeff Heiser.
And Ocean State leaders will continue discussing the town's budget for fiscal year 2027. There are 2 more budget meetings set to take place today and Thursday as the town's fiscal year begins July 1st. Ocean State leaders will gather to discuss at 1 p.m.
New this morning, Governor Matt Meyer has appointed a new member to a key panel that helps shape Delaware's budget. Brenda Wise, as you see here, is joining the Delaware Economic and Financial Advisory Council, also known as DFAC. And that group provides revenue estimates that guide state spending decisions. Her appointment comes shortly after that controversy surrounding Meyer's removal of longtime council member Mike Houghton. Some lawmakers raised concerns about political influence, while Meyer says the change is part of an effort to bring in new perspectives. And for more information on Wise's background and experience, you can head to the article right now on CoastTV.com.
One Millsboro road has a speeding problem. Millsboro's police chief says they're seeing more speeders on Sheep Pen Road. Here's the road. It sits next to or near the Millsboro bypass. Police Chief David Moyer says neighbors came to them complaining about speeding, and they did a study and found that 64% of speeders are going at least 5 miles or more over the speed limit, and around 28% of speeders are going at least 10 miles per hour over.
There goes one right now. Yeah, it's a good stretch here where, people can build up speed and stuff like that. They seem to go circle to circle.
Moyer says that they are considering putting a 4-way stop along the road to slow traffic down, and that idea would still need to get the proper approvals from DelDOT and town officials. Chief Moyer says they will continue to monitor that road.
Happening today in South Bethany, we are expecting several updates at its community relations meeting. According to the agenda, they will review the budget for fiscal year 2027. South Bethany's fiscal year begins on May 1st. Also expected a discussion for plans for the celebration of America's 250th birthday. That will focus on food and entertainment. The meeting is just a few hours from now at 10 a.m.
And also happening today, updates on the Fawcett-Oakey Family Nature Preserve. This at Fenwick Island's Environmental Committee meeting. The trail officially opened in 2025, and according to officials, it was made possible by conservationist Pete Oakey, who handed off the land to Fenwick Island with an agreement to preserve the 2 parcels for the environment. Town leaders are set to gather to discuss at 9 a.m.
NASA has released new photos of the Earth and Moon taken by the Artemis II crew. The stunning images were captured during Monday's record-breaking lunar flyby. One photo shows an Earth set. That's where the Earth sets below the Moon's horizon. Another shows a totality as the Moon eclipses the Sun. And then a third photo revealed a close-up of the rings of the Orion Tail Basin on the Moon.
And we are now getting a live look into Washington, D.C. on this Wednesday morning. We're here just a few hours ago. President Trump announced a 2-week ceasefire with Iran to negotiate a permanent end to the war. And this just in, the president says a ceasefire is contingent upon Iran following through with the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us how the president's harsh rhetoric brought a wave of criticism from Democrats, even some Republicans, and also the Pope.
This morning, a pause in the fighting after President Trump announced a 2-week ceasefire with Iran to negotiate a permanent end to the war. The president saying the ceasefire is subject to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Adding in a new post, the U.S. would help ease the traffic buildup in the strait, and big money will be made. Iran's top diplomat posting that safe passage through that vital energy route will be possible, but will require coordination with Iran's armed forces. The announcement came just 90 minutes before a deadline when President Trump had declared, quote, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again if Iran failed to reach a deal. On Monday, he threatened to destroy all of Iran's bridges and power plants.
Burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition.
The president's harsh rhetoric drawing widespread condemnation from Democrats and calls for his impeachment or removal. Even some Republicans voiced concerns.
I do not want to see us start blowing up civilian infrastructure. We are not at war with the Iranian people. We are trying to liberate them.
While the White House is now declaring victory in the ceasefire, so too is Iran. Its peace plan that President Trump called a workable basis for negotiations includes seeking the withdrawal of U.S. combat forces from all bases in the Middle East and continued controlled passage through the Strait of Hormuz.
Donald Trump took a military action that has apparently, at least for the time being, given Iran control over a critical waterway that they did not have control over before the war began.
Looming questions amid hopes for peace. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
New this morning, a proposed solar project is under review in Worcester County today. And according to the agenda, the Technical Review Committee is considering plans for utility-scale solar installation as developers are requesting approval for the site located along the west side of Old Ocean City Road in Berlin. Worcester County officials will gather at 1 p.m.
Across Delmarva, a key hearing continuing today that could impact how electricity is managed across Maryland. Delmarva Power has proposed a new plan they claim will modernize the electric grid under the state's DRIVE Act.
And according to the proposal, the company would use technology like home battery systems, electric cars, and smart devices to manage energy during times of high demand.
This plan also allows customers to earn incentives by letting the company briefly control how those devices use electricity. Delmarva Power claims this will help reduce strain on the grid and lower costs.
Delmarva Power says the second hearing on the proposal is scheduled for today, where regulators will review the plan and consider the next steps. Now we're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Now, coming up, police retention risks, why the Worcester County Sheriff says the department is falling behind.
Also, historic drug bust, the outcome of a months-long investigation into distribution across all 3 Delmarva states.
Plus, massive fire response. What investigators are saying after this fire Monday in Delmar. And First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono is in the Weather Center. Temperatures are dropping. He's tracking it all for you. We check in with Chris next.
Well, you're not going to want to forget the coat this Wednesday morning as we take a live look from our Tidal Health Cam in Salisbury. 35 degrees. We have a light wind out of the north there at about 9 miles an hour. And we're running a good 10 to 15 degrees cooler on Delmarva than where we were just 24 hours ago. Temperature right now 33 in Easton. We're at 36 in Georgetown. 39 in Bethany Beach as high pressure continues to dominate our weather to our north, and that high will slowly slide to the east through the day today. Now, temperatures are going to struggle to get out of the upper 40s this afternoon despite mostly sunny skies. I'll be back here in a little bit to talk about when the 70-degree temperatures return to Delmarva.
This morning, Wycomico County fire officials will continue their look into the cause of this fire on Monday. According to the Delmar Fire Department, crews found several buildings, a car, and a field on fire along Conley Mill Road. One firefighter was taken to the hospital. Multiple fire agencies responded to assist Delmar, including Salisbury, Parsonsburg, Sharptown, and Laurel. The Powerball website says someone won the $231 million grand prize on Monday, and it says a ticket matching all 5 numbers came from Middletown, Delaware. The last time a winning Powerball ticket was sold in Delaware was December of 2016 when a $121.6 million ticket was bought in Selbyville. The winner can claim annualized payments or a lump sum that totals about $105 million.
In your consumer news now, Google says it's trying to help people find high-quality mental health information and crisis support. The company says it will update its Gemini platform to help those in need. Google plans to add a system to direct users to mental health and crisis hotline resources when they feel they may harm themselves. The company also says it plans to invest tens of millions of dollars over the next 3 years into global crisis hotlines. Next, a relaunch of 8 original American Girl dolls went on sale Tuesday. The Historical Characters collection pays homage to American Girl doll's 40th anniversary this year. Each doll will include her signature outfit and a book, plus packaging inspired by the original design. This OG collection includes dolls such as Felicity, Kaya, Kit, and Samantha, and each doll retails for $175.
That winter-like chill is back in the air this morning as temperatures are in the 30s. Not much of a warm-up despite a lot of sunshine today, but we are going to be back up near 60 for our Thursday, and it gets even warmer as we head into the weekend. Details ahead.
Time is 5:19, and you are looking live at Salisbury on this Wednesday morning. Chris, you are tracking another day of sun, but doesn't look like we're going to have the warmth to match the sunshine.
Yeah, it's going to be a chilly one today. We're going to be stuck with that east-northeast wind, especially at the beaches. And right now in Ocean City, one of the milder spots this hour, 39 degrees with that wind coming in off the water, about 12 miles an hour. Now down to 31 in Harrington, 34, Bridgeville, 36 in Georgetown. These temperatures will dip a few more degrees here over the next few hours. And you can see the wind gusts are still pretty gusty at the beaches, gusting to 25, Bethany, 37 in Indian River Inlet. So we're seeing wind chills in the morning, this morning, 23 in Harrington, feeling like 27 in Long Neck. Now that freeze warning continues through 9 a.m. with the exception of the beaches where we expect those temperatures to dip as low as 29. That encompasses Dorchester, Somerset, Wycomico, as well as Worcester counties. So we're clear and dry, and that's really how we're going to stay over the next few days. High pressure to our north is going to eventually push offshore. We'll see more of a southeasterly wind. Now, we started the month on a warm note. Temperatures were in the 80s, and we flipped the script. Now we are below average over the last 2 days, and we're going to be below average today as well. 48 in Georgetown. I think some areas along the midshore, Easton 53, could touch the lower 50s with that east wind at about 13 miles an hour. It's another cold night, with temperatures dipping right at or just slightly near the freezing mark away from the beaches, as the winds will be pretty gusty, anywhere between about 15 to 25 miles an hour, but they should really wind down as we go into the latter part of the afternoon. Now we have that freeze watch up for Caroline, Kent, Sussex, Talbot counties, with the exception of the beaches where we expect those temperatures to dip near the freezing mark overnight. 39 Lewis, 33 in Georgetown under mainly clear skies. So we have one more cold night to get through as far as any frost is concerned tomorrow morning. I think we'll see a little bit more in the way of frost across the area. By tomorrow afternoon, we're up to near 60 degrees under partly cloudy skies, and then it gets even nicer into Friday. Temperatures up near 70 degrees, a little cooler by the beaches, and then that warmth will continue into the weekend. Average high 63, we're up to 72 into Saturday, and then a backdoor cold front will keep us a little cooler Sunday before a big warm-up arrives next week. Temperatures are going to be feeling, well, back to summer-like standards. 64 on Sunday, and yes, it's going to feel quite summery as we go into Tuesday. Look at that, high of 85 degrees. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. We do have an update for you to a story we brought to you on Tuesday. Local law enforcement officials say they have made the largest drug bust in Eastern Shore history. Got some details to tell you about. Follow me on this. This is a months-long investigation. Officials say they made 13 arrests and seized more than $4 million worth of cocaine. They also captured a significant amount of guns and cash. 12 different law enforcement agencies were involved in the investigation, which targeted an alleged drug trafficking organization that they say was distributing narcotics across all 3 states on Delmarva.
So I'm very proud to stand here today and recognize the hard work that was done by the men and women in the arena who worked day and night to make this happen.
Significant amounts of crack cocaine, marijuana, fentanyl, and heroin were also seized during this investigation.
And up next on CoastTV News Today, police retention risks, what leaders in Worcester County are doing to keep employees. We'll be right back. Worcester County leaders say retaining deputies has become just as important as recruiting new ones. According to the county documents, the sheriff's office ranks 30th out of 32 comparable agencies in starting pay, something Sheriff Matt Crisafulli says that it's important when departments across the region are all competing for the same people.
One of my main priorities moving forward is to elevate the compensation for our men and women so we can bring experience in the door and lock the back door so they don't leave.
According to the sheriff, pay culture and support all factor into whether experienced deputies stay or start looking elsewhere.
Hope you're keeping warm this Wednesday morning as some unseasonably cool air is greeting us out the door as we take a live look into Ocean City. 39 degrees, and it is going to be a chilly, raw day along the coast despite wall-to-wall sunshine. Highs only in the mid-40s in Ocean City through Fenwick Island into the afternoon. We're around 44 degrees as we make our way into Lewis. Plenty of sunshine. Have the sunglasses handy, but also the jacket as well, with temperatures in the 40s. A little milder into the Cambridge and Crisfield area. Some of the areas along the midshore will get just over the 50-degree mark under sunny skies. Congratulations to Ines Voorhees of Ocean City, Maryland, winning an umbrella from CoastTV. We will talk about a nice warm-up as we head into the end of the week in our next half hour.
Thank you, Chris. Now coming up after the break on CoastTV News Today, Fenwick Island Preserve updates. Details on the trail in Fenwick Island that's less than a year old.
Also, Meyer makes DFAC appointments, details on the person joining Delaware's Economic and Financial Advisory Council, and the controversy surrounding the change.
Plus, protect plants after overnight freeze. We'll tell you what experts recommend during this unseasonably cold weather. CoastTV News Today continues after the break.
Now on Coast TV News.
Cold temperatures greeting us this morning, falling as low as the upper 20s through the morning. It's going to be a chilly, sunny day. The latest on when a warm-up arrives.
Feeling the freeze, we look at the effects these winter-like temperatures will have for us today.
Also, new look at OC Council. Why another seat is opening up ahead of a special election.
And preserve progress. We have an update on the plot of land in Fenwick Island that is set aside for conservation.
This is Coast TV News Today.
April 8th, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us today.
5:30 a.m. We got a cold start to our Wednesday morning.
Yeah, not the most fun way to wake up, but it is a day in April. We'll take it where we can get it. And we had those warmer temperatures before, so maybe it was
It's just a little blip in the April,
right.
A little bump in the April road, I should say. Get through this.
You keep telling yourself that, girl.
I do tell myself.
You do tell yourself that.
You know why I tell myself that?
Why?
Because I have this good relationship with our first alert
Oh,
meteorologist,
do you?
Chris Mastrobono, and he was telling me about this good weekend that we've got coming up. I know he's going to hit that later.
Matt, I didn't know you guys talked about anything other than hockey.
We've been talking a lot of hockey this morning, too. Chris, we could talk hockey. I don't think that would go over too well, so let's focus on the cold day that we have ahead of us today.
Yeah, that's right, Matt. We have some cold temperatures greeting us this morning. Now, we have that freeze warning that continues through 9 o'clock for pretty much all of the peninsula, with the exception of Accomack County and the immediate coast. But temperatures are going to fall as low as 29 degrees here over the next few hours in some of our colder spots. 39 right now in Ocean City, but you can see we're now down to 30 in Harrington, 34 in Laurel, 36 Georgetown. It's still quite breezy at the beaches with some gusts 25 to 35 miles an hour, and that's helping to keep temperatures above the freezing mark. But with that kind of wind, it feels like 27 in Rehoboth, so that's an unpleasant temperature stepping out the door this morning. 23 it feeling like in Harrington. Now we have plenty of clear skies across the areas. High pressure continues to settle just to our north. Now we're going to have wall-to-wall sunshine today, but with that east wind, it's going to really keep temperatures in the 40s for most of the peninsula. Could see some lower 50s as we get into the mid-shore, but there you see wall-to-wall sunshine through the afternoon. A chilly day on tap as we are tracking some milder temperatures to end the week. I'll have more on that in my full forecast a little later on.
Thank you, Chris. Now, our top story this morning, it is April, but it's not feeling like it this morning. A cold snap is moving in, just as Chris mentioned, and those temperatures below freezing across Delmarva.
And our Elisa Weber is live in Lewis. That's where plants are already beginning to bloom, and some people there are worried what the sudden temperature drop will do. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yes, this is the time of year where lots of people start to see their flowers bloom, like these right here in Lewis. The Lewis Tulip Festival is currently going on. We've been talking about that for a week. So some people may have concerns that these cold temperatures are going to ruin plants that have already bloomed. Well, according to experts, established plants are going to be okay with this sudden dip in temperatures, especially since it is only temporary. But still, gardeners say taking a few simple precautions can go a long way in protecting your plants plants, like putting some type of cloth or newspaper or even a pot over the plants to protect them more. If you have a lawn and you're worried about that, you can run irrigation during times of frost. The freeze will actually protect the plant on the outside. We did talk with a member of Lewis and Bloom about what types of plants are most at risk, and here's what he had to say.
The only danger is if you bought plants from a greenhouse and brought them outside right now, that could be a problem because they're used to the warmer temperatures inside, and now they're coming out here and it's a lot chillier.
As Chris mentioned, this freeze warning is in effect until 9 o'clock this morning. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. In Lewis. Now, new this morning, Governor Matt Meyer has appointed a new member to a key panel that helps shape Delaware's budget. Brenda Wise is joining the Delaware Economic and Financial Advisory Council, also known as DFAC. The group provides revenue estimates that guide state spending decisions, and her appointment comes shortly after controversy surrounding Meyer's removal of a longtime council member, Mike Houghton. Some lawmakers raised concerns about political influence, while Meyer says the change is part of an effort to bring in new perspectives.
Another Ocean City Council member is stepping down. There is Larry Yates, and he was resigning immediately. He says that's due to health concerns, meaning a special election is necessary to fill his seat.
We're learning that it will occur on May 8th. This is a rescheduling of a special election that was set for April 21st. May's election will fill the now 2 open seats on the council. And you may remember another seat opened earlier this year. That's after Tony DeLuca stepped down for a residency issue. And so far, 2 candidates have filed to run for DeLuca's seat, Peter Bowes and Jeff Heiser.
Also happening today, updates on the Fawcett Oakey Family Nature Preserve. This at Fenwick Island's Environmental Committee meeting. The trail opened officially in 2025, and according to officials, it was made possible by conservationist Austin Pete Oakey, who handed off the land to Fenwick Island with an agreement to preserve the 2 parcels for the environment. That committee meeting is at 9 a.m.
And one Millsboro road has a speeding problem. Millsboro's police chief says they're seeing more speeders on Sheep Pen Road. Now, here's that road. It sits near the Millsboro bypass. The police chief says that neighbors came to them complaining about speeding. Well, they did a study and they found that 64% of speeders are going at least 5 miles or more over the speed limit, and around 28% of speeders are going at least 10 miles per hour over. Millsboro's police chief says they're considering putting in a 4-way stop along the road to slow down traffic.
And this just in, at the 11th hour, President Donald Trump agreed to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran. The decision came just before his deadline for a big escalation of the war was set to pass.
Reed Bidian now showing us how questions remain about the details of the agreement and what will come next.
Key to the temporary ceasefire agreement between Iran and the U.S. is the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says its military will coordinate passage through the strait, through which millions of barrels of crude oil and refined fuel travel every day. The waterway is also a key part of the global supply chain for many different goods. Shortly after President Donald Trump announced he'd agreed to the ceasefire, missile attacks were reported in Israel and across the Gulf region. An official said the U.S. military paused strikes on Iran, but according to an Israeli military spokesperson, Israel was still carrying out strikes as of late Tuesday. Some have expressed concerns over details reported about the ceasefire deal. Former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger writing, quote, "Good Lord, if we cede control of the strait to Iran and agree to reparations, this will be the biggest humiliation in American history." Democratic lawmakers saying the ceasefire isn't enough.
Well, a 2-week ceasefire is insufficient. We need a permanent end to Donald Trump's reckless war of choice.
House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries again calling for Congress to rein the Trump administration in.
House Democrats have demanded that Speaker Mike Johnson immediately reconvene the House back into session so we can move a war powers resolution.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
An American journalist abducted by a militant group in Iraq has been freed. Secretary of State Marco Rubio writing on X that Shelley Kittleson was released after she was kidnapped in Baghdad last week. On Tuesday, the Iran-backed Iraqi militia group said she would be released on the condition that she leave the country immediately. Secretary Rubio said the State Department is now working to support Kittleson's safe return from Iraq.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, renovations reaching end. The new features at the Harriet Tubman Museum and Educational Center.
And playoff impact. We have one Delaware high school softball team way up north in Newcastle County that could mean trouble if matched up with a Henlopen Conference school when we reach the postseason. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Marion Hughes gave his life in Vietnam in 1968. Not for glory, but for the men fighting beside him. Those he saved carried his memory home, and that says everything. His sacrifice was the greatest a soldier can make, and his legacy lives on in every life he preserved.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
This Wednesday morning is treating you well, Delmarva. We're halfway to the weekend, and we got some cold temperatures greeting us out the door this morning as we take a look into Ocean City right now, where we're at 39 degrees, and we're running a good 10 to 15 degrees cooler Delmarva wide. Right now, we're down to the freezing mark in Easton, 35 in Cambridge, 36 in Lewis, and we're holding at 35 in Georgetown. We have high pressure settled over New York, and this high is going to slowly slide east through the day today, but we're going to be stuck with that northerly flow, keeping things pretty well cool. In fact, the coast struggles to get out of the 40s this afternoon. We're going to have plenty of sunshine. I think we max out around 50, some areas inland, and then as we get into the mid-shore, lower 50s are possible as we go into the afternoon. So that will be the warmest spot on the peninsula this afternoon. You can get your latest forecast by calling our First Alert weather phone. I'll be back here in a few minutes with my full 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. Now, the Harriet Tubman Museum and Educational Center in Cambridge is getting closer to reopening after months of work following last year's flooding. According to museum leaders, the updated space will feature an immersive experience combining art, sound, and new technology to help tell Tubman's story. Artist Michael Risotto has been painting a series of murals that trace key moments in her life. He says the project is now nearing completion.
I have one more painting left of Harriet Tubman when she met Frederick Douglass, and then the murals are completed. And then it's a matter of doing, we have all kind of ideas for holograms and sound, and it's going to be a really multimedia experience.
According to the museum's director, a full reopening is expected by late spring or early summer, and 250 people attended a recent soft opening last month.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, Delmarva. The cold weather was all over the peninsula today, but the defending softball state champions in Delaware had to handle business against Newark Charter. It was also windy nonetheless, so not a lot of offense in this one. Caravel hosting the Patriots, and we're starting off in the top of the first. Bottom of the first. Paisley Massey with a nice grounder up the middle for a base hit. And now the offense can start to cook. Leah Richardson later in the inning. That's a line drive into center field. And Massey is going to come all the way around to score and give Caravel Academy a 1-0 lead. Later, it's Abigail Russell at the dish. She's chopping one over into that 5-hole. Play isn't made. First baseman couldn't hang on to the softball. And Richardson is going to come around and slide into home to give the Bucks a 2-0 lead. We go to the third inning. Olivia Harris, she's smoking a liner down the left field line. One run comes in to score. That's Katie Pinnon, and it's a 3-0 lead for Caravel Academy. We go to the fifth inning now. Liliana Basher living up to the name, bashing one into right field, and she is going to run into second base, standing up with a double. Next batter, Alexis Lewis at the dish. She's going to just bloop one into right field, and Basher is going to come around to score, but Caravel, that wouldn't do much for them. They would hold on and win 3-1, living up to their state championship pedigree. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 7, it is live. Carolina League Baseball when the Shorebirds continue their series with the Augusta Green Jackets. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30. You can watch that Shorebirds game on DSN Plus along with these exclusives at 1. Conrad visits St. Elizabeth in high school baseball. 3:30, we have Bayside Conference softball when Mardella hosts Snow Hill. And those same two schools, they also play at that same time in baseball. At 4 p.m., Cesar Rodney battles Wilmington Christian in boys lacrosse.
Now an iconic movie returning to theaters and an award-winning series gets a sequel. David Daniel has both in today's Hollywood Minute.
Help me help you. You are hanging on by a very thin thread. And I dig that about you.
If Jerry Maguire had you at hello, it's time to say hello again. The romantic drama starring Tom Cruise, Renee Zellweger, and Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr. is back on the big screen for its 30th anniversary, April 12th, 14th, and 15th.
Agnes Mackenzie, this is Daisy. Make her feel comfortable.
The aunts from The Handmaid's Tale return in the sequel series, The Testaments, led by Ann Dowd as Aunt Lydia.
I think she's a different person, and therefore that she fits into this new telling of a whole new kind of, it's still Gilead, but we haven't focused on these wonderful young people, and now we are.
Mabel Lee, who joins the cast as Aunt Vidala, was a huge fan of the original series.
I followed the whole show, so I have a strange parasocial relationship with Ann Dowd over here, who I love.
Hi, buddy.
The Testaments debuts today on Hulu. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign-up. You get a weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday, or you can look at your screen now and see your daily dose of joy with Chris.
Thanks a lot, Grace. I'm bringing the sunshine today, but not much in the way of warmth. We're going to be about 15 to 20 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. 48 degrees going with the extra large coffee this morning. We'll talk about a nice warm up though to end the week after the break.
And the time is now 5:49 a.m. as we're getting a live look out into Ocean City on this Wednesday morning. And Chris, many people waking up to a colder day on the coast.
Yeah, we have some unpleasant temperatures greeting us this morning for many that don't like the cold. Stepping out the door this morning to some temperatures below the freezing mark. Right now we're still above it in Salisbury, 35 degrees, but you can see we're now down to 29 in Harrington, 36 in Georgetown, a little milder at the beaches, mid to upper 30s, and that's all thanks to some stronger winds that we had there with some gusts, 25 Rehoboth, 30 Indian River Inlet. Those winds are a little calmer the further inland you go, but you can see we're dealing with wind chills in the 20s, Delmarva wide, feeling like 23 Harrington, 28 in Dagsboro. So that freeze warning continues through 9 o'clock this morning, excluding the beaches for pretty much all of Delmarva, with the exception of Accomack County, where we expect those temperatures to dip as low as 29 degrees this morning. Now we are under the influence of high pressure, settled right over upstate New York. This high is going to slowly slide to the east, and then we'll see more of a return flow out of the southeast as we go into the day tomorrow. But you could see we flipped the script. The first few days of this month we were in the red, well above average. Now we're back below average here over the next 2 days, well, at least over the last 2 days, and today will be below average as well, falling to all highs only in the 40s this afternoon. 48, 46 in Bethany Beach with that east wind coming in off the Atlantic. Some of our towns along the midshore will get into the lower 50s this afternoon, but while plenty of sunshine, another cold night ahead. Now we will have a few clouds increase through the overnight, so that may prevent some frost to form, but we will likely see a pretty cold start to our Thursday as well. Now winds, gusts anywhere between about 15 to 25 through the afternoon. You can see winds will relax, so I think if anybody sees any frost tomorrow morning, it's going to be away from the coast, and now we have that freeze watch in effect for pretty much all of Sussex County, with the exception of the beaches through Caroline and Talbot counties through tomorrow morning, and that kicks into effect because we expect those temperatures to dip right at or just slightly below the freezing mark. So we expect some frost tomorrow morning, but that's going to be the last cold morning because we are going to see a warming trend as we go into the end of the week. By Thursday afternoon, it's partly cloudy, pleasant day. We get up to near 60 degrees and even warmer as we go into Friday. Friday looking very nice. Mostly sunny skies, temperatures back into the 60s to near 70 degrees, and that warming trend will continue into the weekend. Average high 63 will be up to 72 into your Saturday, and then a backdoor cold front's going to come through, keep us a little cooler into Sunday, and then the warmth really builds in. More of a summer-like weather pattern with that high over Bermuda. See that southwest wind, and we're really going to warm up into early next week. So we stay dry. Rain's going to be hard to find here over the next 7 days. 64 into Sunday, 79 Monday, and 85 for Tuesday.
Thank you, Chris. And while students in Sussex County continue break, Maryland students at Pemberton Elementary School were welcomed back to school on Tuesday by none other than a group of dogs. Dads of great students, that is, or dogs, elementary student dads, uncles, grandfathers, and father figures who strive to make a difference in the students' lives. As students climbed out of the school buses and cars, these dads were ready with cowbells, stickers, and lots of high fives to give them a confidence boost.
You don't know everybody's situation, so just seeing the smiles, that's something that they may or may not have at home, and it just melts my heart.
West Salisbury Elementary, Beaver Run Elementary, and Shipman Elementary schools also had the dogs and welcomed the students back into the classroom.
Things to know while students in Sussex County are still on break. Some of the libraries have activities planned by hosting games and crafts each day this week. Today, the Greenwood Library will hold a Super Smash Bros. Tournament on Wednesday. The Milton Library is hosting gentle floor yoga on Thursday, and the Milford Library offering decorative pins on Friday at 3:30.
And the time's now 5:53 a.m. Matt Pensick. We're checking in with our coastal pet of the day, and we're celebrating.
Happy birthday indeed. On your screen, that is Grover. Grover's turning 8 years old this week.
Oh my goodness.
He was treated to do toys and a cake. Also looks like he got a hat there to honor a special day. The birthday boy was submitted to us by Kathy in Millville.
Well, happy birthday to you, Grover. It looks like your family is celebrating nicely, and our birthday gift to you from CoastTV is that we won't sing for you on your birthday and give you the gift of using your ears this year.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that from me. All right, scan that QR code at the top of your screen to get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. And we're bringing back First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. Chris, it is April. We should not have this type of cold IMO.
Yeah, it's a little cooler than what we would like for this time of year. Not really unusually cold, but we typically see some cold air this time of year still. But we are going to get up only in the upper 40s despite wall-to-wall sunshine today. We'll have that northeast wind, so we're going to have highs stay only in the upper 40s. 58 by our Thursday, and you notice we stay pretty sunny and dry through the end of the week. 71 into our Friday, 72 Saturday, and then a little cooler on Sunday, but still pretty nice. We'll have a backdoor cold front that comes through, and that will cool us down a bit, and then the warmth really builds in. It's going to feel like summer by Tuesday, 85, and then we'll have a cold front come through Wednesday, dropping us back into the 60s late next week.
All right, thanks, Chris. And coming up in our next hour, OC Council shakeup, we have the reason why a second member of the governing body is stepping down ahead of the special election. That and more when Coast TV News Today returns.